Hello, everyone. This is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing, and welcome to Lead Generate with Command, Facebook Ads 101 for attracting buyers. Today is March 21st, so if you are viewing the recording, some features may have changed. I'm starting out today in Google Chrome Incognito, which once in Google Chrome, you can access by clicking the three dots in the top right corner. And then we're starting at command, which is agent.kw.com. First step, enter your username, generally something like first initial, last name, maybe a number, capitalization not required. Then you'll enter your password and click sign in. Now to begin, you do already have to need or have a Facebook page already created by your Facebook account. Then to connect that to command, you'll click your name in the top right corner, then click settings. We do have a tip video on how to create a business page from within your Facebook account. So if you need any more information on how to create those pages, feel free to check out our YouTube channel for that quick tip. And while this is loading, I'll go ahead and also bring up Keller Williams has created a really nice article with step-by-step instructions on things to check to make sure that your Facebook page and account are set up and ready to go. I will put this in the chat. So you will need to have that Facebook page created. You must have two-step verification on. You must be an admin of the page. So if you did not create it, you want to make sure you have that admin role. But if you did create it, you are automatically made the admin. You'll want to make sure that you do have a Facebook Business Manager account. Read and accept the Facebook lead ad terms. Then you can come to settings, which I think is loaded now. Yep. And connect your Facebook account. Now you may see that your Facebook sections here are not populating to the top. No big deal. You'll want to find these sections and then click that connect account over on the right. Now today we're going to be going over paid ad campaigns. So we're going to be working with the Facebook Ads Manager. But since you'll need your Facebook account and password, we do go ahead and recommend also connecting the post scheduling section as well, so that you don't have to enter that login information twice. And yes, you must have a Facebook page, which means a business page. Now, the KW and Facebook partnership does make the sponsored ad more cost-effective if you create it through Command and Keller Williams. It does also further your reach so that you are reaching more people with your audience. Now, even though we are going over the Ads Manager, that is the paid version. Like I said, you can connect the Facebook post scheduling also, which is the free version. So paid ads will actually not show up on your page's timeline, but it will show up on others' news feeds. So as they're scrolling through Facebook, they'll see a sponsored ad like so. just while scrolling through. So they'll see friends posts and then this sponsored ad and then more friends post. Unlike the Facebook post scheduling, which is scheduling a post to be posted to your business page. So paid version is a sponsored ad that'll show up in others' news feeds. Post scheduling or social posts is the free version that'll show up on your business page's timeline. So once you have your Facebook account connected, you will want to click Manage. Click this drop-down arrow, and then make sure your page is selected here. This is somewhat of a new step to connect your Facebook to Command. It may also give you the error later on that it doesn't look like you have any pages. So you want to come to your settings and make sure that your page is selected. Now you can also have more than one page, not only created by your Facebook account, but also selected here. So select all that apply. You may have one for real estate, one for selling nail polish, cutting grass, Scentsy, what have you. You can select more than one, but you want to make sure all of your pages are selected here and then click Done. Now you will also see that your Facebook account name is listed here, not your Facebook business page name. This is by design because the account itself is the one that has to be connected to Command. Because the Facebook business page by itself does not have a login, Command uses the Facebook account to connect to Command. This does not mean that anything will be posted to or by your personal Facebook account, though. So know that nothing will show up in your personal timeline that'll show up in others' news feeds, or the sponsored ad or paid ad will not show up under your personal account. But you will see your name here. Once connected, again, your Facebook sections, whether it's Ads Manager and or post scheduling, may not pop up all the way to the top, but you do want that connected status. If you can't select your page there, you may have to disconnect here within Command and then reset the API within Facebook, which is basically going into your Facebook account, going to settings, going to business integrations, and removing that KW connection, and then starting from scratch to reset the connection. The recording of this training will be on our website, slmtraining.com, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScottLeroy-Marketing. At this time, you cannot directly connect to Instagram, but if you would like to create a sponsored ad or paid ad to Instagram, you must connect your Instagram to your Facebook and see that as an option later. Additionally, you can connect your Twitter for the same reasons, post scheduling and or ads manager. So feel free to click that connect account button to complete that. Now we are just going over Facebook today, but if you need any help connecting your Twitter, feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to help. Heading to campaigns, which is where the paid ads are held. It's the little megaphone icon at the far left side. While you are still learning the names of these applets and icons, you can click the red square with the white KW to expand the name of the applets. And again, we're headed to campaigns. Yeah, if you need any help connecting your Instagram to Facebook, feel free to contact us and we'll be able to help with that as well. Now, once in campaigns, you may notice your dashboard may look different than mine. If you have run paid ads before, you'll have an additional section between this welcome and quick posts. And I'll have some metrics there for you on how that's working. The next step before beginning this campaign is by going to payments. It's the black text at the top right of the screen. So you'll want to head here first to add your payment method, which is the blue text on the left. Because again, this is the paid ads, so they do cost money. If you do connect your Twitter and want to run paid ads through Twitter, that payment information is within your Twitter account. So feel free to head on over there to add your payment information there. Once you have your Facebook account connected and your payment method entered, you'll want to click Create Campaign, the blue button at the top right corner. You'll get this little embedded pop-up here where you'll then choose Social Ad Paid. Next little embedded pop-up is to enter your campaign name. Pay attention to the character limit here of 80. Now this campaign name is only visible by you. We recommend creating some sort of naming convention. For my example, I'm going to do the property address. Including city, state, and zip. And it's going to be a just listed. You can do attract buyers. You can do FB for Facebook, IG for Instagram, TW for Twitter, where you're going to run your campaign, something so that you, at a quick glance, you can see what this paid ad is about. Now, this can be changed later as well. So if you do just want to do test, you can. Next is your goal. Now, KW uses these goals, for their tracking, analytics, reporting purposes. Today, we're going to be going over an attract buyers. But if you do choose another goal, the setup process is the same. And of course, when in doubt, you can choose other. And this goal can also be changed later. So if you happen to change your mind, you can do so within the editor wizard that I'll show you on the next screen. Next, you'll check off where your campaign will run. So for this class, Facebook ads, I'm going to select Facebook. But if you do have your Instagram connected to your Facebook, this is where you would check that off to run the paid ad on Instagram as well. And then click Create Campaign. Now you will see that little embedded pop-up appear and then disappear, because that is command working your Market Center logo for you, which I'll talk about later on down. We have not seen a particular goal increase the amount of responses. It's simply on the Keller Williams side, so it doesn't affect how many people it goes out to on the Facebook side. Again, the recording will be on our website, slmtraining.com, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScottLeroy later this afternoon once it uploads. For the campaign name, when you click that create, the first section will have the field where you can update that if you need to, along with your goal. If you don't need to change it though, you will see that it does already have that green check mark saying that it's ready to go. For the listing section, if you so need it, some of the goals, some of the ads that you may post may not need a listing. For example, the brand awareness where you're just promoting yourself, you may not need a listing here. But if you do, for this goal in my example, which is attract buyers, I'm going to add my listing by clicking this blue button in the center of the page, searching for the property address. Goodness, if I could type. You can also click this drop down to change from property address to MLS number or listing agent. And once you have that typed in, you can click search. Now, because I'm borrowing this listing, I'm going to switch from only my listings to all listings. You can also change the status from active to all, depending on the status that is on the listing. And here's the listing here, so I'm going to click select. And again, it's going to have a little embedded pop-up work for you. If either of those embedded pop-ups don't end up going away automatically, you can click that little X to close them. If you do happen to select the wrong listing, you can click that change listing right in the center of the screen there. Next section is text, so you'll click configure to drop that down. Now you will see it does bring over the description from the listing that's connected. You can also edit this. You can simply type it in. You can also add emojis using this little light gray smiley at the bottom right of the field. Again, pay attention to your character count. Now you will notice over on the right-hand side for the Facebook preview web feed, all of the text fits in perfectly. There are no ellipses showing that they have to click to see more. But if we do switch over from web feed to mobile, you may notice that some of the text does get cut off. So feel free to switch to Facebook preview mobile, because in my opinion, that's how most people view Facebook anyways. So you may want to alter your text to fit the mobile preview instead. Next, you'll enter your headline. Pay attention to the character count here as well. You can pull from the description as well. You can also say something like just listed. You can do all caps. You can do each word capitalized, whatever you would like here. Next, you'll enter your description. Now, description may not show in all instances of your ad. Facebook will dynamically show the description based on their algorithm to improve performance of the ad. Pay attention to the character count on this as well. You can also add smileys here. And let's enter, just for the example, I'm going to do the same thing, but you see how the text, the main copy at the top, will be in the white space and the description will be in the gray. Now, just to make sure this is different, there we go. And once you have these 3 required fields filled in, you can click Save to collapse that section, where we'll see that green check mark saying that that one's good to go. Next section is media. So to drop that one down, again, click Configure. Now, because we chose that listing in the second section, we'll see the picture has already populated here. You can also add more. Keller Williams recommends using the 1-to-1 ratio or an exact square crop for multiple image ads. You can also add a video here. Next section will be the Market Center logo. Now here is where that Market Center logo will populate if the very first embedded pop-up works its magic and places it here. If it does freeze and you do have to close out of that, you'll see that this field is blank, but you can browse KW Connect by clicking on this blue text here to search for that Market Center logo. And KW recommends using the PNG format in the RGB folder. Now you will see that it does show up on the paid ad preview. But if you are using a design, like for example, the brand awareness goal, and you create a social piece in designs that may already have your Market Center logo, you can remove that logo from the overlay by clicking this little light gray X in the center of the page. You can also align the Market Center logo on the left or on the right. You can also include your ownership statement. And you'll notice with both of those options, there will be a white gradient banner show up on the bottom of that picture with both the logo and the statement. Feel free to check with your broker on what that ownership statement should be according to their rules, your area, your state, etc. Then you'll click Save to collapse that section because we have the green check mark. Next section is Facebook settings. So again, you'll click Configure to drop that one down. First field is your Facebook account. It should automatically populate here. If you do have more than one account connected, you can click that drop down to choose between. Again, just to reiterate, you will see your name as it appears on your account here, but that does not mean this paid ad will be posted to or by your personal Facebook account. Next field is your page. You will need to drop down and select your page here. So if you have more than one, you can select the page from the list. But if you only have one, you'll see it listed here and you will need to select it. Now, one common error is instead of a drop down, you may see something like it looks like you don't have any pages. You will want to reset the connection between Facebook and Command if you see that. So that'll mean removing it or disconnecting it from Command and removing the connection in your Facebook. If you have any questions on that, feel free to let us know and we'll be happy to help. Once you select your page here, you'll notice that the Facebook lead generation form is automatically selected. That's simply because it is recommended. Now, what this will do is when someone comes across your ad and clicks the button, it will prompt the Facebook lead generation form to pop up. It should autofill with their information. First name, last name, email address, and phone number coming from their account so that it'll be easier for them to just click submit and continue on to the website destination URL. If you were to instead choose a site or landing page, for example, if you created a Google form and wanted to capture more information, like, maybe a secondary email address or phone number, or maybe you want them to write a little note, you can choose this option and it will not auto-populate or auto-syndicate those leads into your command. But if you do choose this Facebook lead generation form, not only is it easier for the consumer to just submit their information, but those contacts will then appear in your contacts applet automatically. So again, site or landing page, you will have to import manually, but Facebook lead gen form, contacts will syndicate automatically. Next, you can choose from one of three options for your button label, depending on, what the purpose of your ad is. Learn more works best for my example here. Next, you'll enter your website URL. Now, it will automatically populate this https://. So once you do paste in your URL, you will want to make sure that's not duplicated. And what we recommend for any sort of listing is to go to your website, search for this listing or your listing. Let me zoom in to it. Select the listing. And once this pulls up, steal this URL. So you can click once to highlight, right-click copy, and then paste that URL, remembering to delete what's already populated there, and right-click paste so that a person comes across the ad, clicks learn more, has the lead generation form show up, they'll submit their information, and they'll then be taken to this website, which will be branded to you. You'll see your logos, names, contact information there. More pictures. They can even fill out another form here at the bottom. But if you choose not to use that site, then you can enter whatever site you wish, depending on the goal of your paid ad. Or you can choose a landing page. Now, this landing page does already have to be created, but when referring to landing pages, it's not only the landing pages that you create within the consumer applet, but also the agent site pages that you create in the consumer applet. So any one of your pages on your website or the standalone landing pages can be used. Best way to contact us is to email support@scottleroymarketing.com. There is a specific format to import the contacts into Command. File type is a CSV, separated values. And using the Command import template that you find within the contacts applet. If you're trying to search and it says no records found, you may want to zoom out. You may be zoomed in too close, and or the status of the property may no longer be shown on your website. Now, the next section in this step, Facebook settings, is for your audience. Audience is set automatically to the location of the listing with a 20-mile radius, but you can toggle on use custom settings. It does default to target a custom audience, but you can target my database if you would like. Now, target my database won't get you more leads, as is the purpose of this class, to lead generate. So I will not be going over how to target your own database, but you can, and I always do highly recommend hovering over these little tooltips that are the eyes in the circle to learn more about targeting your database. And yes, both can be chosen. You just have to select both of them there, both checkboxes. Now for target a custom audience, again, that will default to the location where the listing is if you choose one, but you can remove that by clicking the X and search for other locations, such as, outside of your city, maybe asking for referrals if that's your example. To log into Facebook and Instagram, Facebook requires an email address or phone number. And Instagram, you can log in using your Facebook. So it's however you have chosen and how you have your Facebook account set up. But once it's connected to Command, it will show your name as your person for the account. You can also change the radius here. Now the minimum is 15 miles. You can use these plus and minus buttons or manually type this in. Next is the detailed targeting. So this is where you can include and exclude people with certain interests. Now it is optional, but do note that it will decrease the amount of people that it reaches. So if you would like to include people who match certain interests, you can click this text here. It'll have a little embedded pop-up where you can search for things like, maybe they have homes.com or homes, or I know realtor.com is an option. Of course, you don't want to choose the pro because that'll go to agents. You just you're attracting buyers in this example. House hunting, maybe renovation, maybe first time home buyers, whatever an interest could be on their own Facebook profile can be entered here. Maybe even land, luxury, commercial, whatever interests work best with your ad. And once you have your interests selected, the more the better, the more people you'll attract it to. Click save. No, not using my full name for the username for Facebook and Instagram. Facebook has either an email address or phone number to log in. So you'll want to enter your email address or phone number, however you set that up when you created the account. And then what will display within command is your full name as it's listed on your account. Now, this narrow audience button will do exactly that. It's going to narrow this audience even further. So this, of course, is optional as well. We do not recommend this, especially because it's just going to be less frequent that these situations happen. So you'll click that narrow audience button and search for interests. So in my example here, and of course it's going to be really slow. There we go. I will say this estimate audience that you see here is a global audience. So know that you will not reach all 99 million of those people with that accounting interest. You'll only receive, or they will only receive it if they live within this location. These interests are from whatever is in their own Facebook account. So when a person creates their Facebook account or they go to update it, there is a section for interests where they can add all of these things in, some books, movies, music, hobbies, sports, things of that nature. That is where the interests would be found. If you're still having trouble finding your listing on your website, feel free to contact us and we'll be happy to help. We recommend not choosing a whole lot of detailed targeting. It depends on what type of ads you are publishing, but a few may help for sure. There is a minimum radius of 15 miles. I'm not sure of the maximum though. Looks like 50. That was a really lucky guess there. So what my targeting is saying here is that people who live within 50 miles of Archie, and so this is like an and function, have the interest realtor.com, house hunting, renovation, land, and or land and houses. And also match accounting. So they must have realtor and accounting, house hunting and accounting, etc., in order to see this ad. So narrowing the audience is going to greatly narrow it. We don't recommend narrowing it that far, but if you do want to add some interests here, you can add more than 5 too. You can add, 20 if you want to cover more bases. But that will show up in people's news feeds who have these interests. So it is a little more targeted, and it goes a little bit further in being able to attract buyers, which is the whole purpose of my ad today. Once you're done with this section, click Save to Collapse, and you'll see that now has a green check mark. And we'll open the next section, which is Configure. Now, this section is optional, so you do not need the green check mark here, but this is the newest section, and I'll say it, it's my favorite. So this will designate what you want to happen to the leads that come from this campaign. Do you want to auto tag them and or automatically assign them to any smart plans? To auto tag, you simply click in this field. You can type to either search or create. So in my example, I want them to be tagged with this new tag. So in searching, I'm not finding anything in the dropdown, so I'm going to click Create New, where I'll then be able to select my color and click Add. You can select more than one. So let's say, I know they're all going to be buyers. I know they're all going to be maybe investors, whatever your ad, the goal is for, maybe you want to tag them as lead. If you do accidentally tag or enter the tag here, you can click the little X to remove that. For assigned smart plans, you can click the box to search through all of your smart plans. Now, unlike that last field, you cannot create new from here. The smart plan must already be in your account. And if you do have a trigger event on this smart plan and use that tag, that trigger event here, you can also take care of assigning to smart plan automatically. Again, if you want to remove that, you can click the little X here. You can also clear all by clicking the X on the right-hand side and or click that remove button that appears. You can also select more than one. So if you want them to go to more smart plans, you can do that as well. Once you're done with this section, click Save to Collapse. Again, this is optional, so you may or may not see that green check mark there, but that's okay. Next section is duration and budget. Now, it does plug in some information by default. KW recommends a 10-day campaign with a budget of at least $1 per channel per day. A channel is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So per channel, you're only going to see mine has one because I've only selected Facebook. But if you have selected Instagram and Twitter, you'll see that difference here. Now, ads may take up to 24 hours to be reviewed by Facebook before becoming active. So check out the beginning date, and you may want to push it out a few days so that it gives it plenty of time for Facebook to review the ad. That also means if you're advertising, for instance, an open house this weekend, you will want to create your ads well in advance so that it has time to be reviewed. And it's not going to select the current day, it's going to be the next day. So a few things to keep in mind. But once you select that date by using the little calendar icon, You will also see the duration automatically applies as well. It'll push that out for you. But you can click this little calendar icon to change that end date as well. So let's say, I posted it this Saturday and I want it to go to the next Saturday because that's when my open house is. You can do that. You can do a duration less than 10 days. That's just the recommendation. Now, next field is the total campaign budget. You can use these minus and plus buttons to decrease or increase that information. You can also manually type this in here. Now, you will see once it goes below the suggestion of $1 per channel per day. So for my example, it's 7 days and I'm only allotting $6. So daily per channel is less than $1. My green check mark disappears. So it won't let you go less than $1 per day. You'll see as soon as I increase that by 1, my daily per channel is $1, and I have my green check mark here. Yes, if you choose the Facebook lead generation form that's recommended in that previous section, all of the leads will be automatically imported into your command contacts applet. So as long as you have $1 per channel per day, you can click Save to Collapse. You want to check that you have all green check marks. You want to make sure both the web feed and mobile preview look good to go. I do recommend always saving as a draft and coming back later just to make sure all of your spelling, grammar, punctuation, information is 100% accurate before publishing. When the contacts are automatically syndicating to your contacts applet, it will not create a separate contact list, but each lead will be designated with a little blue L next to their name. If you have their Facebook information in their contact record, you can then target your database with just those people who have clicked on your ads. There is a difference depending on how much you spend. The more you spend, the more people your ad reaches. Of course, within your audience that you've designated. The longer it'll be on their news feeds. So the more eyes you have on it, the more clicks you'll have, the more leads that will syndicate over. Now, whenever you do decide to publish this ad, this budget that you have set is only for this ad. Let's save this as a draft to be taken back to the dashboard here. It'll take you directly to the paid ads dashboard where you'll see a bunch of metrics here. You can see how many ads you've posted in the last 7 days, 30 days, etc. How many impressions, how many leads, a link to view the leads that have come in, how much you've spent. You can search through your ads, filter your ads, even filter by goal or channel. You'll also see your ads listed here with a tiny thumbnail preview, the status, duration, these metrics here, which I'll define in a minute, your goal. and the three-dot menu over on the far hand side. If your paid ad is in draft status, you have these options: edit, duplicate, archive. But if your ad is already published, you won't have that edit option. You'll only have the duplicate and archive. So be sure to make sure your ad is 100% accurate before publishing. Now, clicking on this little tooltip that I mentioned while learning about a system, they're always helpful. You'll get the full dictionary on all of these definitions and acronyms here. So again, channels is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The status, CPM, which is cost per milli or cost per 1,000 impressions, is defined as the number of impressions multiplied by 1,000. So total amount spent divided by number of impressions times 1,000. CPC is cost per click or cost per link click. It's the average cost. So it takes your total divided by number of link clicks. Leads captured, and CPLC, which is cost per lead captured, total amount spent divided by number of leads captured. Now, if you do want to pause or stop a campaign, it's called pause in this system, you will get a refund from the original as a credit. Now, one reason an ad may error out and fail or not publish is Command is supposed to automatically add the category of real estate, but sometimes Facebook does miss it. So feel free, you can always hover over the statuses if they do say failed to see the reason for failing. We do also see that Facebook does have strict advertising policies, alcohol, religion, steering, things of that nature. Feel free to check out the full Facebook article, which you can find within the editor of the ad. It's one of the blue text in one of the sections there. And then, of course, if you would like to disconnect your Facebook account from Command, that's going to be back in the settings, which is under your name and then settings. Yes, if your Instagram is connected to your Facebook, you do still need to choose both channels separately if you want it, the paid ad, to publish to Instagram. And you'll see the Facebook ad policies here. Again, blue text throughout the editor here. And here under Facebook settings. But that is it for class today. Of course, if I didn't answer your question, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is at the bottom of our website. And you can access the recording later this afternoon by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ScottLeroy And it'll be uploaded in just a few hours. As always, thank you for joining and hope you have a wonderful day.